They didn't look like anything America had seen before. Young black men and women walking the streets in crisp black leather jackets, black pants, sky blue shirts, and that unmistakable black beret tilted just so. They weren't hiding. They weren't apologizing. They were making a statement with every step, every glance, every moment. The Black Panther Party understood something powerful. Appearance was power. In the late 1960s, image mattered. The civil rights movement had given the world pictures of dignified black protesters in suits and ties, marching peacefully for their rights. But the Panthers wanted to send a different message. Not submission, not patience, but pride, discipline, and readiness to defend. The uniform wasn't just about style, it was about identity. It said, "We are not victims, we are protectors." The beret had long been a symbol of revolutionary spirit. You saw it on Che Guevara, on resistance fighters around the world. But when Bobby Seale and Huey Newton donned it with the rest of their outfit, it became something uniquely American. It told black youth that they didn't have to shrink anymore. They could stand tall, they could be seen. And then there were the guns. Long, legal rifles carried openly in public under California's gun laws at the time. The Panthers weren't brandishing weapons to threaten people. They were invoking their constitutional right to bear arms and to monitor police behavior. When officers pulled someone over, Panthers would arrive, stand at a legal distance, and quietly observe. They knew the law inside out, and that scared people. Perhaps nothing shocked white America more than this image. Young black men with guns, not running, not hiding, but standing their ground. To some, it looked like a revolution in the making. To others, it looked like the beginning of a race war. But for many black Americans, it looked like the first time anyone had ever stood up to the system and refused to blink. The boldest moment came in May 1967, when a group of armed Panthers marched straight into the California State Capitol building in Sacramento. Dressed in full uniform, rifles in hand, they came not to start a fight, but to make a point. They were protesting a proposed law, the Mulford Act, that aimed to strip citizens of their right to openly carry firearms, a law conveniently introduced right after black people started using it. The media exploded. Cameras captured the silent, disciplined line of Panthers entering the Capitol, calmly reading a prepared statement. Lawmakers panicked. Headlines screamed. And suddenly, the country knew the name: Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Whether you loved them or feared them, you couldn't ignore them. This was radical politics meeting performance art, meeting constitutional law. Every move was calculated. The Panthers knew they were being watched, and they leaned into it. They used fear, fashion, and defiance, not for chaos, but for visibility, for a people who had been invisible for too long. Still, this image, armed black people demanding justice, was deeply unsettling to the status quo. Politicians, police departments, and even moderate civil rights leaders distanced themselves. The Panthers were called extremists, militants, even terrorists. But many of those critics never visited the neighborhoods the Panthers came from. They didn't know the pain. They didn't feel the fear. To those living in the crosshairs of poverty and police abuse, the Panthers weren't radicals. They were protectors, big brothers and sisters, sentinels on the street corner, making sure no one disappeared in the night. For many children, the first time they felt safe outside was when a Panther walked by. The Panthers weren't trying to be palatable. They weren't interested in slow progress or political compromise. They were trying to wake up a nation. The uniforms and the guns weren't the whole story, but they made sure the world was listening when the Panthers finally spoke. In the next episode, we'll move beyond the guns and into the heart of the Panthers' work, the food programs, the clinics, the schools. Because while the world focused on the leather and the rifles, the Panthers were quietly building something far more revolutionary: community power. If this story moved you, please like, subscribe, and share the video with someone who still believes that standing tall can change the world. We've only just begun to understand the legacy of the Panthers.